Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody who joins us. My name is Ola Atamanova, and Ukraine Media Center Ukraine Forum continues its operation. Today is day 398 of the full-scale invasion of our homeland by the Russian aggressor. And now we will be talking about the problems and challenges faced by our agrarians. Joining us online is Dmytro Solomchuk, the People's Deputy, the member of the Parliament and Parliamentary Committee on Agrarian and Land Policy. Good afternoon, Mr. Dmytro. Good afternoon, Mr. Dmytro. Spring sowing campaign. Let's talk about it. What are the main challenges faced by our agrarians, and not only the agrarians, but in front of the whole state? We understand it. Well, the biggest problems, I think, are in Mykolaiv, Kharkiv, Kherson regions, where large areas of land are contaminated with mines or other types of trash, the debris. So there are two machines that were handed over to the State Emergency Service provided by Warren Buffett. 6 more are coming. They are purpose for demining. The situation is quite complicated there. The agrarians' facilities are damaged there, the material is damaged, so it's the most complicated situation for them over there. When it comes to the northern and central Ukraine, the main thing was funding. The loan started working for the spring sowing campaign. More than 5,000 different businesses, from the small ones to medium, started working already. In fact, there are more than 300,000 hectares sown with different crops. The weather conditions deteriorated a little bit. The temperatures are freezing, so the mass sowing campaign will actively start after the Easter, after the 16th of April. Mr. Dmytro, we were talking a lot to the representatives of local governments in Mykolaiv and Kherson regions, Sumy and Chernihiv regions. They all mentioned the same problem. The huge problem is the mining of territory. Will the sowing campaign take place in those territories on one hand? On the other hand, we understand that there is the State Emergency Service, which was coming to us too. They presented their demining programs. They were saying that they would set priorities, the priority regions that should be demined. They should be demined first. So to what extent those regions will be able to join the sowing campaign? Do we understand already that there are some regions that, due to certain reasons, to high density of mining, will not be able to get involved in the sowing campaign? Well, unfortunately, demining is a dangerous and a lengthy process. If we say, for example, Chernihiv region, it's almost all demined, and the sowing campaign will be taking place there. There are also businesses who lost all the material, all the machinery there. They will be supported with their specialized machinery. And when it comes to Kherson region, the vast majority of the territory is mined there, but there are also businesses who should be supported with material, but their areas, their territories are already demined. According to my forecast, if we take all the territory, we won't be able to demine everything before this sowing campaign. So I think that 200,000 or 300,000 hectares won't be sown this spring, unfortunately, because again, the demining is a lengthy and complicated process. But it's good, fortunately, that the machines for the demining machines are coming. They work on a depth of up to 60 centimeters, and they what's most important, that they save the lives of the state emergency servicemen. So 12 brigades of the miners are working together with the units of the state emergency service. Well, many experts say that upon the summary of this agrarian year, we expect the harvest in the country to fall. So if we calculate it on the government level, what will be the figure of such fall? So if we compare the areas that were sown last year and to be sown this year, they are almost the same. The factors are such that not all of the agrarians, they may deal with their financial problems, and the biggest factors that can be analyzed further on will be the weather conditions. We had a winter with very little precipitations. The water reservoirs are not filled with water. Now there are rains coming, which is very important for the spring sowing campaign, and it's also very important to have rains in the summer and in the autumn. For example, when there are intense rains in the autumn, the agrarians may lose part of their harvest, for example, because it gets deteriorated. So we hope that this year it will be difficult. Did the structure of this sowing campaign change? Yes, it has changed. This year there will be less corn, at least 20% less corn sown. We increase the areas of soy, of peas, of barley, and all the agrarians almost across all the regions of Ukraine increase their land plots for vegetables, because we're short on vegetables, specifically the onion. Sometimes we see that the onion is being imported. It's not enough in the market. You see the price in the supermarkets. And also due to the energy crisis created by Russian Federation, there were losses of vegetables in the storages, and this is why there is some deficit. But we're coming to the period when the vegetables from the small greenhouses are coming to stabilize the situation. We realize that we need more tomatoes, more bell pepper, onion, cucumber, beet, and the agrarians increase the areas for sowing those types of vegetables. Dear colleagues, do we have any questions on the floor? Good afternoon, Anastasia Kravchenko, Ukrinform. First of all, I would like to ask for details about those demining machines. Are they come in sufficient numbers, and where are they supposed to work? Are they going to work only in Kherson region or in other regions too, and to what extent it will help expedite the demining process? And another question is about the tax exemptions. The Ukrainian agrarian associations, they asked the parliament to preserve the tax exemptions for agrarian sector that parliament intends to cancel in July. Does the parliament consider any opportunity to preserve those tax exemptions, or to have them replaced with other instruments of support to support our agrarian sector? Thank you. Well, as to the demining machines, they're self-propelled. They are provided by the foundation of Warren Buffett. There's a lot of equipment for pyrotechnics coming too. The fund also paid for the training for those machines. They will be working in Kherson region, and the other machinery that I mentioned will be coming to Kherson region too, because this Kherson region is the region which is most densely polluted with the mines. We are also being supported by seeds and machinery for victory harvest last year. So the goal is to have more funds raised for demining. I hope that the number of such demining machines will increase, and it will expedite the process of high quality demining. As I mentioned, those machines work on the depth of up to 60 centimeters. If a shell or a mine is deep in the ground, the machine may extract them from there with the full security to provide the maximum safety for working in those fields. As to the tax exemptions, you probably mean those 2%. That will be still considered and discussed in the parliament, and we'll see the final resolution made later. But now the parliament is working on the resolutions which are very important for the agrarians about the tax exemptions in the recently deoccupied areas. As to those 2%, you know, even the agrarians, they have different opinions there, because it was not a big number of businesses who switched to that taxation scheme. Many agrarians were saying it would have been good to have the taxation at 2% level. It would have been very comfortable for the accountants too, and in terms of generally of taxes. But in fact, when it was implemented, very little number of businesses switched to the taxation scheme. Somehow, I don't know why, specifically among agrarians, there was no large number of those who switched to this taxation scheme. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining our broadcast. I'm reminding you, dear colleagues, joining us was Dmytro Solomchuk, member of the parliament and the member of Parliamentary Committee on Agrarian and Land Policy. And our next briefing is at 12:30. Joining us will be Fedor Venislavsky, People's Deputy, the member of Parliamentary Committee on National Security, Defense and Intelligence, representative of the President of Ukraine to the Parliament of Ukraine, and we will talk about the arrest warrant for Putin and how it will affect Western arms supplies to Ukraine. So bear with us, work together for a victory, and glory to Ukraine.